Hello, this is Shalom from Powerful Systems, and today we're going to talk about creative uses of Radio Raw system, and hopefully this will win us a Lutron CD award. We've been doing this for over 15 or 16 years. Our specialty has always been lighting controls, and we specialize in Lutron because they're such great systems. And a few years ago, Lutron came out with Radio Raw 2, which solved a problem for a very niche and specific target market for our clientele. So today we're going to demonstrate the use of Lutron Radio Raw 2 system with what we call Shabbat automation. So for those of you who don't know what Shabbat is, so Shabbat is basically the day of rest for religious Jewish clientele. So coming Friday night at sunset, typically, you know, they cannot control any lighting or anything that's digital or mechanical, and the whole idea is to have a complete day of rest with your family and obey the religion. So it starts sunset, Friday night at sunset, and it ends sunset on Saturday. So over the years, you know, we've had a lot of clients ask us for a Shabbat automation system. And the solutions were very expensive solutions or larger systems where we had to incorporate complete hardwired solutions and processors like Homeworks to solve that problem. And we've done that in the past. But since Radio Raw came out and with its very affordable prices, we're able to create something very unique. So here it is right here. We have a Lutron Radio Raw 2 demo case. For those of you guys who are not familiar with Lutron Radio Raw is a retrofit wireless lighting control system. So you can go into an existing environment, no need for rewiring. You replace your existing switches or dimmers with wireless devices such as these here. And as you can see, the lights go off, depending on the areas that they're controlling. And then you can select a few keypads that can turn on lights in different areas of the home. But we created specific packages that we can sell a pre-programmed system, have it programmed here in our office, and pretty much send it to a client anywhere in the US, Canada, Mexico, and have them install the system and have it operational from the minute they install it, and then give them the ability to adjust their lights. So here we're going to show the Lutron Radio Raw 2 app, and what we did on it is we created all the rooms. So we're giving the ability to a client to give us a list of specific rooms that they want to have lights controlled, and we'll preset them to what we think best in terms of specific times and specific levels they want them to come on. And then the client, once they put up the system and plug in their main repeater into their local router, they'll be able to have everything controlled from the app, and then they can customize and adjust the system to their own specific needs. So there is a couple of challenges that came with that, and with the ability of the Radio Raw software we were able to solve. So number one, Fridays, Saturdays are very specific days, meaning that we can make these timers happen and reoccur every single week without a problem. So sunset comes in, we turn lights on. Maybe they go to bed at 11 o'clock at night, we shut the lights off, or maybe we leave a certain path on during the night. And bathroom lights on and things like that, since technically they're not supposed to touch any of their lighting switches throughout the day and night. And then we have certain timers come on Saturday, maybe at 8 o'clock, or they can adjust it themselves. So if they know that they get up at 7, they adjust it to 7. We set it up for sunset on Friday, early morning Saturday, lunchtime on Saturday, and then something that happens in the afternoon and then at sunset, so that as the sun sets, there's lights in the house. We have the same setup as the Friday night comes on, and then once the Shabbat is over, they're able to go and control their lights independently, so they can have a lighting control system that they can use on a day-to-day basis, but also on the weekends it just becomes alive and it does its own thing. Now, there are certain holidays in the Jewish world that occur on weekdays sometimes, and these holidays varies. And in the past, you know, I've had clients give me a complete list for 10 years, and we would sit there and pre-program specific dates for the next few years, and then, you know, they occur differently every year. So it becomes very, very difficult to track these holidays and then update the system, and very costly for a customer to have a programmer come in and set these holidays, you know, every time they occur. So what we came up with the capabilities of Radio Raw system is Radio Raw has the ability to do different time clock events, and the system is smart enough to be able to alternate between time clocks. So on the system, we created a keypad, and that keypad has two modes. What we call Shabbat mode. When you hit Shabbat mode and you go in, you'll see here on the time clock overview, it shows you that it's in the normal mode. Normal mode means that the lights will go on and off on Friday and Saturday, just as we discussed. But what happens during those, you know, off days or alternate days? So then you would go into the system. So before the holiday happens, so before sunset, the client will go to the system, to a keypad on the wall, and say, okay, I want to click what we call Yom Tov. Yom Tov is the name of a holiday that occur on a non-Shabbat. So they would select Yom Tov, and what it would do is it would set the system to an alternate mode, meaning that the system will start doing the same times as Shabbat, and it's going to keep on reoccurring daily, you know, day by day until the holiday is over, and the client will go back to the keypad and then just simply select Shabbat mode, and then it goes back to its normal Friday and Saturday. So, you know, you don't have to ever go back into the system and put specific dates, because you just know that all you have to do is just push that button before the holiday occurs, whenever it is, and then the system will just do its thing. So this is really a worry-free way of you know, controlling lights, appliance modules, you know, different things that they need to be able to control in order to have a very comfortable Shabbat. You know, in the past, the way a lot of clients used to do that, if they didn't want to spend money on the system, then they would take these little mechanical timers, replace their switches with these mechanical timers on the wall, you know, everywhere in the house. And then what would happen is, if the power goes out, then the timer has to be completely reset, and you have to actually go in and pre-program every single switch, which becomes very difficult. So every you know, religious client that I've been to their houses, you know, I was able to see these timers that are very difficult to operate. You know, very old school in a way. So, you know, with today's technology and with the Radio Raw abilities, we're really able to give them something that is fun. It's something that they can do themselves, something that they can adjust, and also keep up with the technology. So let's talk about scene control. You know, so if a client wanted to change something on a specific timer, they would go to their schedules. They would pick, you know, let's say it's the Friday night event. They would click on edit. They would click on lights. It would show them all the lights that are currently on that specific timer. They simply click on the light that they want to adjust. They'll raise it to a specific level, like you see here, or if they say, I don't want this light part of my Shabbat, then they can turn it off. And then once they're done adjusting all their lights throughout, they go ahead and they click save. The system will save, and their timer will occur exactly as they set it. Another cool feature is the ability to enable and disable specific timers. So if the client, let's say, leaves out of town for a month or for a week, they're able to go in and simply click on the disable button, and the timer will be disabled during the period of time that they're out of the house, so the lights don't need to come on. So it's also a very good way to save energy. You know, and another way to save energy is, you know, a lot of the clients that don't have these kind of systems, what they do is they go around the house and they turn all the lights on, and they basically leave them burning for 2 days until Shabbat is over, and then they turn them back off. So having a system also allows you to save the energy, because there's no need to have the lights on all night. There's no need to have them at 100%. You can dim them down to 80%. You can extend the life of your light bulbs. And then, so to make it very easy for our customers or potential clientele to understand a little bit more about Shabbat Automation and what we do, we've created a website called ShabbatAutomation.com. On ShabbatAutomation.com, which is right here. You know, we have Shabbat automation versus, you know, traditional systems or timers. And you know, if you clicked at that, we created a very simple checklist that shows the most common, you know, timer switches that I was talking about. Or a lot of people are very familiar with this, which is it's a plug-in module, timer module that you can plug into an outlet, plug in a couple lamps, and then adjust your lights. And you know, here are the advantages or the comparison. You know, so through Shabbat Automation, you're able to dim lights, where you can't do that with the standard timers. The 10-year battery backup memory allows us as well. First, it saves the client from, if a power outage goes, occurs, then when the power comes back, the system will actually just come back to its last state, and then it will keep on operating, and all the timers and all the setup that's been done has been saved, and it doesn't get lost. So as long as the power comes on, within 10 years hopefully, the system will function. Then the 10-year backup also allows us to be able to set these systems in our facilities, test them, make sure they're all set up and work properly, address all the devices, and then box them and ship them anywhere we want. And then once the client's powers them back up, all the scene control, all the timer controls, everything is in memory and will function as soon as you plug it in. So it's sort of a plug-and-play system. We also have the ability to control multiple bulbs. So because of the new Radio Raw CL dimmers, we're able to control a lot of different LED lamps. So that gives the ability to a client to be able to change different lamps in the house and conserve even more energy by using different types of dimmers, different types of light bulbs. We have an app control. We have astronomical time clock built into the system with Radio Raw, so we're able to know exactly, depending on the location they're at, sunset, sunrise, it goes back and forth and changes the clock automatically every year. So complete astronomical built-in time clock into the system. We have a lot of color options. So with Radio Raw, you have the ability to do up to, I think, 20 or 30 colors right now, between gloss and satin color finishes. So we're also able to go in and match the aesthetics of the home. We have the ability to tie in two security systems. So, you know, during normal mode or operation, you are able to create things that will happen with a security system. So if you leave the house and you arm the house, the system can automatically go to an away mode, which shuts all the lights off. If the alarm sounds, you can go into some sort of a security or a panic mode. And so that also has built-in security features into the system. You're able to control all these lights while you're away. So through the app with Lutron, with remote logging, you're able to control your app from anywhere in the world. So that's another advantage. And then the last advantage that we think is very important is the Yom Tov programming, which is a lifesaver for holidays that occur during weekdays or during non-Shabbat, Friday, Saturday. From this website, you're also able to select your package. So we created pretty much 3 packages: entry-level, mid-range, and then a larger system type of package. And we can also create custom packages, you know, up to 200 devices through our Radio Raw system, through lights, shades, temperature control. And then we created 2 packages that are intended for synagogues, which, you know, they have to do the same thing. So synagogues, the same deal. On Fridays, on Yom Tovs, they have to be able to have the lights on, you know, to cater people. And we're able to automate it the same way and control these lights as well. So this is Shabbat Automation. We hope you enjoy this. We hope you think it's a neat way of utilizing Radio Raw system and using all the features and advantages that are built into the system to really solve a very unique and specific solution. Thank you again.